I broke a $20,000 vase. My daughter kicked me out, but what I did left them speechless. I'm Elena Hartwell. That Thanksgiving, I took a bus to surprise my daughter Linda in New York. I raised her with love. I skipped meals for her. I froze in winter so she could stay warm. I hoped we could spend the holiday together. But when she opened the door, she looked upset. Her husband's family stared at me like I didn't belong. At dinner, a child asked who the beggar lady was. Everyone laughed. No one said anything. Later, I knocked over a vase while cleaning. They said it cost $20,000. That night, Linda told me to leave. No hug. No reason. Just get out. I sat outside in the cold, shaking, not from the weather, but from heartbreak. I thought I had no one left. Then a car stopped beside me. When I saw who was inside, I froze. It was James, an old classmate from back home. He stepped out of the car, his face full of concern. James walked over to her. He didn't ask questions. He just offered her his hand. Elena took it, feeling a small flicker of hope. James led her to his car. He told her everything would be okay. For the first time that night, Elena felt a little less alone. She was grateful for his kindness. As they drove away, Elena looked out at the city. It felt a little less cold now. She wasn't sure what would happen next, but she felt a small spark of hope. Elena sat quietly in James's car, feeling the warmth from the heater. Her heart felt heavy, but the kindness of an old friend brought some comfort. James drove through the city streets, the lights flashing by. Elena didn't know where they were going, but she trusted James. He didn't ask many questions. He simply told her she was safe. Soon, they arrived at a small, cozy house. James's wife, Helen, greeted them at the door. Her smile was warm and welcoming. She hugged Elena tightly, which made Elena feel a little more at ease. They led her inside, where it was warm and smelled of fresh bread. The house felt inviting, a stark contrast to the cold night outside. James and Helen showed Elena to a small room. It was simple but comfortable. There was a bed with a soft quilt and a small window overlooking a garden. Elena felt tears well up again, but this time, they were tears of gratitude. She thanked them quietly, overwhelmed by their kindness. That night, Elena lay in bed, unable to sleep. Her mind raced with thoughts of the day's events. She felt a mix of sadness and relief. It was hard to accept that her daughter had sent her away, but she was grateful to not be alone. She listened to the quiet sounds of the house, feeling a sense of peace she had not felt in a long time. In the morning, Helen made breakfast. The smell of coffee and toast filled the kitchen. Elena joined them, feeling a little awkward but grateful. James and Helen chatted easily, including her in their conversation. They talked about old times and shared funny stories. Elena found herself laughing, something she hadn't done in a while. After breakfast, Helen asked Elena about her plans. Elena admitted she had none. She felt lost and unsure of what to do next. Helen listened patiently. She suggested that Elena take some time to rest and think. She offered to help Elena find a job when she was ready. Elena was touched by her support. With Helen's encouragement, Elena began to think about what she loved. Cooking had always been a passion. It was something she was good at and enjoyed. Helen knew a cafe owner nearby and offered to introduce Elena. Elena felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this was a chance to start fresh. A few days later, Helen took Elena to meet the cafe owner. The cafe was small and bustling with customers. The owner, a kind woman named Maria, welcomed Elena warmly. She explained that they needed help in the kitchen. Elena felt nervous but excited. She agreed to give it a try. Working at the cafe brought Elena back to life. She loved the smell of fresh bread and spices. She poured her heart into every dish. The customers noticed her passion. Soon, they began asking for her by name. Elena felt a sense of pride she hadn't felt in a long time. She was doing something she loved and it showed. The cafe became a second home for Elena. She made friends with her coworkers and enjoyed seeing the regular customers. Each day, she felt a little stronger. She found joy in small things, like the laughter of children or the smell of baked goods. Her heart began to heal. James and Helen continued to support her. They were always there with a listening ear or a kind word. Elena felt grateful for their friendship. She realized how important it was to have people who cared. Their kindness helped her rebuild her life. As time passed, Elena began to dream bigger. She thought about opening her own place someday. A small restaurant where she could share her love of cooking with others. The idea excited her. It was a goal to work towards. Something that gave her hope for the future. Elena's journey was not easy, but she was determined. She learned to stand on her own and find happiness in the simple things. She discovered strength she didn't know she had. With each day, she moved further from the pain of the past and closer to a future filled with promise. Through the support of her friends and her passion for cooking, Elena found a new beginning. She realized that even after heartbreak, life could be beautiful. She was ready to face whatever came next with courage and hope. Elena's days at the cafe were filled with work and happiness. She loved cooking and serving the customers. Each meal was a chance to show her care and skill. The regulars enjoyed her dishes, and some even asked for her recipes. Elena felt proud of her work. It was a simple life, but it was honest and fulfilling. One evening, after a busy day, Elena sat with Helen and James. They often spent time together, sharing stories or just enjoying each other's company. Helen noticed how much Elena had changed. She seemed happier and more at peace. Helen asked Elena if she had thought more about starting her own restaurant. Elena admitted she had been dreaming about it a lot. Helen smiled and encouraged her. She knew Elena had the talent and passion to make it work. James agreed and offered to help with anything they could. Their support meant the world to Elena. She felt inspired to take the next step. The idea of having her own place excited Elena. She loved the thought of creating a space where people could gather and enjoy good food. She imagined a small restaurant with a cozy atmosphere. A place where everyone felt welcome. She decided to call it Elena's Table. Elena started planning. She saved money from her job at the cafe and looked for a suitable location. She wanted a place that felt right, somewhere she could see herself and her customers happy. It took time, but eventually, she found a small spot. It wasn't fancy, but it had charm. Setting up the restaurant was hard work. Elena spent long hours painting and cleaning. She found second-hand furniture and decorated with simple touches. Her friends helped, offering their time and support. Elena felt grateful for their kindness. She knew she couldn't have done it without them. Finally, the day came when Elena's Table was ready to open. There was no grand opening, just a quiet start. Elena felt nervous but excited. She hoped people would enjoy her food and feel at home in her restaurant. She took a deep breath and opened the doors. The first customers were a few regulars from the cafe. They came to support Elena and try her dishes. Elena was thrilled to see them. She greeted each one warmly and thanked them for coming. She wanted them to feel like family. As the days passed, more people discovered Elena's Table. Word spread about the delicious food and welcoming atmosphere. Customers came back, bringing friends and family. Elena loved seeing the restaurant full of happy faces. It was everything she had hoped for. Elena poured her heart into her cooking. She used recipes from memory, dishes her mother had taught her. Each meal was a piece of her past, shared with new friends. The restaurant became a place of joy and connection. Elena felt like she had found her true calling. One morning, as Elena was preparing for the day, she noticed an auction notice. It was for Linda and Richard's house. Elena felt a mix of emotions. She hadn't heard from Linda since that cold night. Seeing the notice stirred something inside her. Elena thought about the house. It was once a place she had hoped to be welcomed. Now, it was an opportunity for something new. She decided to buy it anonymously through a friend. It was a big step, but it felt right. It was a way to reclaim her strength and independence. When the purchase was complete, Elena knew she had to face Linda and Richard. She felt nervous but determined. She wanted to show them that she had moved on and found her own path. She was no longer the woman who sat outside in the cold. Elena walked up the driveway of the house. Linda and Richard were there, looking confused. Elena felt a twinge of sadness but pushed it aside. She calmly told them they had 3 days to leave. Her words were firm but fair. She didn't want revenge, just a fresh start. Leaving the house, Elena felt a sense of closure. She had taken control of her life and made it her own. She was proud of the woman she had become. Elena's table was thriving, and so was she. She had found her place in the world, surrounded by friends and a community she loved. Elena's journey had not been easy, but it had led her to this moment. She had turned heartache into hope and created a life filled with purpose and joy. She knew there would still be challenges, but she was ready to face them. With strength and love, she could overcome anything. After buying Linda and Richard's house, Elena felt a mix of relief and uncertainty. She had reclaimed a part of her past, but she also uncovered something troubling. As she went through the paperwork, she discovered they had stolen from her trust fund. Her heart sank at the betrayal. She had given so much to Linda, and this felt like a deep wound. Elena knew she had to confront them about it, but it was not just about the money. It was about respect and standing up for herself. She decided to take them to court. It was a hard decision. Elena did not want to hurt Linda, but she needed to do what was right. She wanted to show that she was no longer someone who could be pushed aside. The court case was stressful. Elena had never been involved in anything like it before. She felt nervous but determined. She knew she had to remain strong. Helen and James supported her every step of the way. Their presence gave her strength and courage. Elena felt grateful to have them by her side. In court, Elena faced Linda and Richard. Seeing them again was difficult. They looked surprised and uncomfortable. Elena took a deep breath and focused on the truth. She spoke clearly and honestly about the trust fund and how they had taken advantage of her. It was not about revenge, it was about reclaiming her dignity. The court ruled in Elena's favor. She felt a wave of relief wash over her. It was a victory, but it was also bittersweet. She wished things had been different with Linda. Elena left the courtroom feeling a mix of emotions. She had won, but she still felt the loss of their relationship. Back at Elena's table, life continued. The restaurant was thriving, and Elena poured her energy into it. She found joy in cooking and serving her customers. The community she had built was strong and supportive. Elena felt a sense of belonging that she had not felt in a long time. Elena decided to use her experience to help others. She started a program at the restaurant to teach single mothers how to cook. Every weekend, she opened her kitchen to them. She taught them recipes and shared tips on making meals on a budget. It was a way to give back and help others find their strength. The program became popular. Elena loved seeing the mothers learn and grow. They brought their children, and the restaurant was filled with laughter and warmth. Elena felt proud of what she had created. She knew how hard it could be to start over, and she wanted to offer support and hope. Elena also used her experience in court to help others. She spoke at local events about standing up for yourself and finding your voice. Her story inspired many. People admired her bravery and resilience. Elena felt humbled by their support. She realized that her journey had meaning beyond her own life. One day, Elena received a letter from Linda. It was unexpected. Linda apologized for everything that had happened. She admitted she had made mistakes and hurt Elena. Reading the letter, Elena felt a mix of emotions. It was hard to relive the pain, but it was also a step towards healing. Elena wrote back, expressing her own feelings. She didn't know if their relationship could be repaired, but she was open to trying. It was a small step, but it felt significant. Elena knew that forgiveness was a journey, and she was willing to take it one day at a time. Life at Elena's table continued to flourish. The restaurant became a hub for the community. People came not just for the food but for the sense of family and connection. Elena felt fulfilled in her work and life. She had built something beautiful from the ashes of her past. Elena's journey taught her many things. She learned that strength comes from within and that love can be found in unexpected places. She realized that even after loss and betrayal, life could hold joy and hope. Elena found peace in her new life, surrounded by friends and a community that cared. Her story was one of resilience and redemption. It was a testament to the power of kindness, courage, and love. Elena knew that she had found her true self and that nothing could take that away. She was ready to face whatever the future held, with an open heart and a strong spirit.